Hi everyone, Vince here, and welcome back to this week's Tai Chi Easy practice. We're going to go through what we did the last time as far as our warm up, getting our connection with our body, breath, and mind, starting to build on those building blocks of creating your own practice. We will add in two more Qigong forms of our Qigong set that we're learning, the Vitality Method, and we're going to also learn the second form of our Tai Chi Easy 5 form. So let's get ourselves started and let's see how much we remember. Let's bring our feet back to being parallel, shoulder width apart. You want to take a quick look down and make sure they are in fact parallel. Soften those knees a little bit, a slight bend. Show you from the side, just that slight bend. And then check your pelvis. You want to just rock the pelvis a little bit. Make sure the tailbone is not pointing that way, but you'd rather have the tailbone pointing straight down to the floor. So this opens the spine when you do that, and it makes this lower part of the body rock solid. So we have this strong connection to the earth. Good. And now let the crown of the head float up. Feel the spine open, feel the torso open. That's the important thing. We want to be able to breathe abdominally. So every time we inhale, we can open the belly and allow it to close. And that just helps our overall well-being and allows us to breathe better. All right, so standing like a tree, quietly with our feet rooted into the ground, tailbone pointing straight to the floor. Let's just shake the shoulders a little bit to relax them. Visualize the crown of the head floating up so you have this nice long neck, nice straight spine. And we are making our first intentful connection to the body. So we do a quick scan from the toes to the crown of the head. Be aware of what parts of the body may need some support. Maybe you have that troublesome achy shoulder or that sore knee. Maybe you're starting the day with a headache. Maybe by the time we get done with practice today, all those things will be feeling better. All right, now let's make our connection with our breath. And again, I'm going to use my hands to indicate how deep the breath is and how slow or fast it should be. Remember, we want to make the exhalation longer than the inhalation. Nice, full, deep breath in, filling the belly. Exhale out, long and slow. Now, there's many reasons we want to have the exhalation longer than the inhale. One of those we'll talk about this week, and that is being able to produce nitric oxide naturally in the body. The nice thing about nitric oxide is a natural anti-inflammatory, and it also helps the neural pathways produce and send the signals throughout the nervous system. And that nitric oxide is actually created in the sinus cavity. So that's why we always talk about breathing through the nose in and out rather than breathing through the mouth. We produce that nitric oxide on the inhale. On the exhale, that nitric oxide gets drawn out to the front of the sinus so that when you make your next breath, you're getting almost 90% of that nitric oxide going into the lungs and being distributed into the body, rather than if you were breathing out through the mouth. You'd get almost none of it. And now that we've made the connection to body and breath, let's also make that connection with our mind. So remember, we disconnect from all our responsibilities. Outside of the room you're practicing in right now, there's nothing going on that needs your attention. Disconnect from the phone calls, the email, the texting, and just relax and focus on yourself. And focus on these wonderful three treasures. All right, let's take one more breath together. And before we start our warm up, I just want to remind you, when I talk about the wall side or the window side, that is a way of me talking about left and right. So we're doing things in kind of like mirror image. So if I ask you to raise the wall side arm, this is the arm we want to see come up. And this is the window side. Okay, here we go. Now, remember from last time we got together, the first exercise we're going to start with is knocking on heaven's gate. So we turn the torso to the window, back to the wall, and just let the arms go where they go. Remember, this is a way to loosen up the spine and hips and knees. So we want to stay connected to the body so we know how everything feels, but also still stay connected to our breath, taking long, slow, deep breaths, and stay connected to the mind, making sure that those random thoughts and dialogues don't come in here now. We'd rather wait until later to deal with them. Let's bring one hand up and gently tap that pressure point for the lung meridian. That's right where the collarbone and shoulder meet. Anywhere in that general area will still stimulate that pressure point. All right, and let's let the body become quiet. We're going to add something else in today. We're going to do this. It's called shaking. And it's something that humans don't do very much, but if you notice animals in nature or even domestic animals, whenever they're traumatized, they shake and tremble. And it helps them get rid of that trauma, helps them ward off that uneasy feeling that they have. So it's good for us to do the same thing. Just think about some of that stuff we're carrying around in the body and just shake it out. Let the body do whatever it wants to do. Make sure the shoulders are loose. And then let's bring the arms up. Deep breath in, relaxing breath out. Hands overhead, same thing. Deep breath in, relaxing breath out. And hands back down, another deep breath. Bring the arms to the front and all the way down. One of my teachers over the years that taught this, he used to tell us that in his personal practice, he would do this for several hours during the day, usually about 2 hours. And that was on a good day. And I used to wonder, what would you do on a bad day? All right. Let's let the body become quiet. Take a nice deep breath. Connect with any tingling sensation you feel going on in the torso, the limbs, the feet. Take a nice deep breath. Let it out slow. Let's bring our awareness right up to the cervical vertebrae again. Remember, we want to loosen up the spine as part of our warm-up. So drop the chin as you exhale. Pick the chin up as you inhale. No, there's no set number of times you need to do this. It's not like we have to do a minimum of 6 or 10. Sometimes we only need 2 or 3. It's all dependent on how much time you have to spend. In classes like this, I typically do it 2 or 3 times, and then I tell everybody, bring your eyes back to the center point. And let's turn the chin to the wall side and back to the window side. Again, we're just moving the chin, trying not to move the shoulders, keeping the shoulders relaxed, still maintaining that connection to our body, our breath, and our mind. The 3 intentful connections. It's a wonderful little meditation. You can do it anytime, anywhere, and it really does a lot for controlling that nervous reaction. That's those times when you're feeling stressed. Just doing some simple things like this can really change that outcome. Okay, eyes back to the center. Focus on the very tip of your chin. We're going to draw some circles. So drop your chin down. Turn to the wall side and lift. Bring the chin across the top and slowly down the other side. Now go back the way you came, turning to the window side, lifting up, coming across the top, down the wall side. Let's do one more together. Remember, don't worry about that snap, crackle, pop sound. The important thing is you keep it all in your own personal safety zone. If anything hurts at all, please modify the exercise or don't do it at all. All right, now we need to get the rest of the spine involved from the neck down to the tailbone. So nice big inhales, you raise the arms overhead. Point the fingertips towards the floor, and as the hands pass the face, let the face follow the hands. Keep the knees soft. Stretch out. Slowly come back up. Roll the shoulders back. Stand nice and tall. Good. One more time. Big inhale. Exhale. Inhale back up. Roll the shoulders back. Good. And just shake that out a little bit. All right, the last time we were together, we started the Vitality Method Qigong form, which is just a simple practice of a few forms. So let's review the first two that we learned, starting by making sure our posture is correct, feet shoulder width, knees soft, check the tailbone, lengthen the spine by letting the crown of the head float up, relax the body, briefly connect with the breath, and connect again with the mind. All right, two hands pushing up and out. We interlace the fingers. Inhale and lift. Rotate the palms towards the ceiling. Continue to inhale and stretch. Separate the hands, begin your exhale. Nice, come down nice and slow. Remember, we want to feel that expansion and contraction. So inhale, feel the joints expand, the body, the chest, blood vessels, and relax. Let everything go back to where it naturally wants to be. All right, let's do two more of these. Big inhale. And exhale. Last one. Good. Now, turn the palms forward. The next one is called flow motion. Inhale, lift the arms as high as the shoulders, keeping the elbows relaxed. Flip the hands over, float back down. I want to incorporate the knees a little bit so you feel that expansion and contraction. So I slightly straighten the knees as I come up, and then let the knees flex again as I come back down. Nice deep breath into the belly. Nice relaxing breath out. Good, let's do one more. Big inhale. And the exhale. All right. Now, the next two forms that we're going to learn are kind of interrelated, basically under one umbrella of known as being called spinal breathing. There's a side-to-side bend that we're going to do that gets the vertebrae to do this. But then there's a front to back bend that we're going to do right after that that gets the vertebrae moving front to back. And this is really good. I kind of call it fluffing up the pillows, because as we get older, we start to have a lot of problems with discompression. So this movement kind of helps fluff those little discs up between the vertebrae and get back some of that space that we've lost over time and gravity, okay? So again, take these movements very easily. We'll take them in stages so that you don't get hurt. And once your body gets used to it, then you'll be able, I think, to really enjoy it. So let's drop the arms down, connect with our posture. We're going to lean and drop the shoulder on the window side. So I'm just going to let that arm hang, let the head hang from the neck, and just feel that nice stretch through the spine and torso. Come back up, go to the other side. Notice how the hand on the opposite side is just kind of coming in a little bit. You're breathing on this. You want to exhale as you lean and then inhale as you come back up. Now we're going to add some variations here. And the first variation is as we lean over towards the window side, we're going to take the elbows or the wall side elbow and bring it up. And notice that change, how much more stretch you get now in the rib cage. And then back down. And do the same thing on this side. Bring the elbow up and back down. Let's do one more on each side with that. This knee is slightly bent, holding most of the weight. Now this knee is bent. All right, the next variation, we're going to bring the arm overhead like a big rainbow. Just letting it flow over, let the other arm hang straight down. This leg slightly bent. Come back up. All right, let's do one more of these on each side. Feel that nice stretch of the spine, the torso. Linear stretches like this are really good for the muscles. Good, we'll make that the last one. Now the next one is the front to back bend. So this is good for a lot of reasons because we're going to also really get the lymphatic system charged up. All of the movements help the lymphatic system, but this one I found really gets that going. And since the lymphatic system takes about 80% of the toxins out of our body, it's a really good thing to help do its job every once in a while. So let's interlace the fingers again. Just very lightly, interconnect. We're going to inhale as we lift, rotate the palms again, but this time we stop when the palms are facing forward. Separate the hands, continue your inhale as you lean back, look up, and now as you come forward, make a fist, bring the fists together, the elbows stay out, and we're going to bend at the waist, flex the knees a lot, and come down. That's your complete exhale. Now, come back up, inhale. And I'm going to show you what the side view of this looks like. Fist comes together, exhale. Bending at the waist, bending the knees. Now, how far you go down is not important. If you have some lower back issues or knee and hip issues that prevent you from bending way over, that's fine. Just if you can go right to here, that's great. The other thing I want you to do is, as you exhale, I want you to tighten every muscle in your body from your toes all the way up to the scalp. So this becomes a very strong kind of isometric exercise. And you can feel the body kind of turning itself into a pump, pumping those toxins out through the lymphatic system, but also pumping blood up through the spine. That gentle arch we make really helps with that. And again, remember, we're fluffing up those pillows that are in between each vertebrae. Again, monitor how your body feels. If you're feeling any pain or discomfort at all, please either discontinue the exercise or modify it greatly. All right, I'm going to turn back to the center. Let's do one more together. And down. Good. All right. Now let's do our closing from our Qigong. Remember the bamboo in the wind? We shift over to the wall, step in as we raise the hands, wash that energy down. I like to think of this as when I'm pushing the stagnant energy out of the body deep into the earth. We're going to stand for a minute with our hands on the lower dantian or the lower abdominal area. Good. All right. Shake that out a little bit. Good. All right. Now let's get back to our Tai Chi forms. Last week we learned parting the wild horse's mane, or harmonizing yin and yang. And let's just review that a little bit. We're going to shift our weight over to the wall side, turn to the window side, hold our ball with the window side hand on top. And remember, we turn back with the torso and shift the weight, but as we do that, this top hand pushes down, the bottom hand floats up. And then we turn the bottom hand over, bring it to the opposite side, and turn the top palm down. Again, we're holding our ball, spine is tall, are out. Harmonizing yin and yang. Let's just do a few of those. If this is your first time with us, this will help you catch up. And if you've been with us right along, it's just a good review. Remember, we're not using the arms the way you would think. We're not standing with our body forward and swinging one arm out and swinging another arm back. That's not what the exercise is. If I don't move my torso, the exercise looks like this. One hand straight down, the other hand up on the center line of my body. And then I just switch to the other side, do the same thing. But because I'm turning the torso, it looks like this. So we're parting the wild horse's mane, or harmonizing yin, which is the energy coming up from the earth, and yang, which is the energy coming down from the heavens. Good. Now let's just play with this a little bit more. Think about keeping the body relaxed. We're still connected with our three treasures, right? Our body, our breath, and our mind. All right. Now let's think about the second form and how do we get there from here. So when you finish this form, this harmonizing or parting the wild horse's mane, we still need to connect with our ball. So that hand comes over and I connect holding my ball. But I need to turn the ball over. So before I do anything else now, I'm going to rotate this ball. So now the window side hand is on top, even though the ball is on my wall side hip. From here, I'm going to push down with the top hand. And notice how the bottom hand just gets out of the way. When the top hand is down by the hip, it stays there. The other hand floats up. I'll bring it up as high as my shoulder, and then I'm going to bend the elbow to bring the fingers in by my face. I flip the palm up and turn and push. Now, to do it again on the other side, I just turn the palms towards each other. Reposition my ball a little bit. Now the wall side hand is on top, even though the ball is on my window side hip. I push the arm down, hand stays by the hip. The other arm floats up. Bend the elbow, bring the fingertips in by the chin, flip the hand up and turn and push. Okay, this is called Brushni Sen Chi. So the lower hand is brushing the knee, the upper hand is sending the chi out. So again, keep your spine nice and tall, the crown of the head floating up. Now, when we start adding the footsteps to this form looks a little bit different because I'm going to be taking a step right towards the camera and pushing straight out. Then I would come back, pivot to the other side, do another step, and push towards the camera. But for right now, we're learning this as Qigong. So we keep our feet rooted for now. And let's go through that again. Let's go with parting the wild horse's mane, or harmonizing yin and yang, whichever you prefer. And we'll do 3 or 4 of these and then we'll transition. All right, now let's do our transition. Bring the hands across so you can grab your ball, turn the ball over. Now the wall side hand should be on top, even though the ball is on my window side hip. I push down with the wall side hand, the top hand. Float the other hand up, bend the elbow, turn and push. Notice how that bottom hand goes to my hip, and as my torso turns, it just follows the hip around. And if you look at the upper hand, there's not a lot of movement there. I float the arm up, I bend the elbow, but now I'm just going to turn and push. And again, not a lot of movement with that arm. It just straightens a little bit. Knees are still soft. Spine is still tall. That's your body connection. Breathing long, slow, and deep. Nice big inhale. Nice relaxing exhale. And then connecting with the mind. Because we're so focused on the choreography, once we start learning the Tai Chi walk, there's very little time to think of phone calls, email lists, things you have to do. So again, a nice meditative practice. You could almost do these 2 forms stationary as a warm-up. It definitely warms up the hips, knees, spine, shoulders. Gets you used to transferring some weight, even very slightly, transferring weight from one leg to the other. All right, now let's learn how to close out of this. So we finished the form with our arm extended. We're going to do something called embracing the tiger. Now this does 2 things. It's a transition to all the other moves, but it's also a transition that helps us close the form. We always want to open a form and close a form. So we turn that upper hand towards the wall side shoulder. Bring the other hand up and cross. And this is called embracing the tiger. Okay. Now from here, you can do a lot of things going to the new forms that we're going to learn next week. Or we can just lower the arms and do our bamboo in the wind. Shift over to the wall side. Step in with the window side leg as we bring the hands up. Lower the palms down. Again, taking time to breathe, focus. Place the hands on what we call the lower dantian, just below the belly button. Take a deep breath. Do a quick scan of the body. Notice if the body feels better now than it did when we started a half an hour ago. Do you feel calmer? Do you feel more relaxed? Is your mental focus better than it was before? All right, now let's shake that out. Let's do one thing that's really good to do at the end of the practice, and that is finding these meridian lines and giving them a little tap. We have 6 pairs of meridian lines that run in the arms, on the outside of the arm and the inside. They go right to the fingertips. We want to stimulate them. That's going to help take care of the heart, the lungs, large and small intestine, the pericardium, and also something known as the triple burner. When you finish with the arms, start with the torso, come around the back to the kidneys. We're going to tap on the kidneys for a little bit, down the backs of the legs, up the front inside of the legs, and do that again. This takes care of the stomach, the spleen, the kidneys, urinary bladder, gallbladder. Those meridian lines run in the legs. And then smooth it all down. One more shaking. Cool. Well, thank you all for joining me today. We've got more of these coming. So please join in again and let's do Next time we'll be doing the third form for the Tai Chi Easy 5 form. And we're going to be putting what we know of the Vitality method together in one nice flowing movement. So be safe, be happy, be healthy. See you next time. Take care.